Dorian Thompson-Robinson is very, very intriguing. UCLA quarterback, the 49ers had a private workout with him. And you go back to Bill Parcells and some of the Bill Parcells commandments. I need to look into exactly what that is. I'm gonna try to see if I could type that up real quick for y'all. One of them had to be like a 4-year starter or something like that. All right, had to start 4 years, had to throw a certain amount of passes, had to have certain leadership characteristics, had to have. There are all these things that he's looking for in guys that clearly Trey Lance, with his inexperience at North Dakota State, was like the opposite, and Brock Purdy was more of that, right? As opposed to coming in and being able to do things right away. All right, so when you see that, and then you look at a guy like Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and let's talk about him. 49ers meet with him. First things first, the traits are clearly there. All right, you talk about somebody with the athleticism, there, right? That's not the number one thing. Being able to make throws, be accurate, things like that. He can make all the throws. He can make tight window throws. See a guy that just got better each year. You can see a guy that started pretty much 5 years because he got the COVID year as well, and he want to probably maximize his whole draft process and being able to kind of move up the boards and whatnot, and as he should have, right? Because last year came out probably wouldn't have even been drafted. So that was smart for him to stay that 5th year. All right, so we're talking about damn near 5-year starter at UCLA, and he went through a lot of really, really tough, difficult times. It was not all great there with Chip Kelly. All right, but this is a guy who was one of the top quarterbacks in the nation. I want to say maybe the number one dual threat quarterback coming out. All right, but one of the top quarterbacks in the nation, and you see him each year, just numbers, stat, getting better, understanding, right, and then just explodes in that 5th year, right, where nearly a 70% completion percentage. I mean, ran for touchdowns, threw for touchdowns. The will of his team, they were good. UCLA was good. And they don't got many draftable guys. I think they got an offensive lineman that people really like. You have Zach Charbonnet, running back, who is terrific. He definitely helped a lot. You have maybe the Bobo kid, who's a big receiver. He was a transfer. But it ain't like, it's like, man, they're just like loaded with these guys that you're going to hear about, or they're going to go in the first 3 rounds. Like, that's not necessarily the case of what he was playing with. So the things that he did, had to play a little bit of hero ball, but you just see arm talent, ability, leadership, charisma, confidence, experience. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, he possesses all of those traits, clearly. Not the biggest of guys, like 6'1", 205, 210 pounds, whatever he is. Ran well, sub 4.6, 40-yard dash. It was like 4.58 or something like that. So, he could run. He's athletic. He's very agile. But I just start to look at, again, the 49 situations when you have Brock Purdy, when you have Trey Lance, and just kind of what they went through, what they needed, what the 49ers needed from them. And clearly it's somebody that, man, can you just come in and do these things and understand how we need you to play? Brock Purdy was ready for that. Trey Lance wasn't quite there yet. Needed time to build up to that. 49ers, they don't quite have time. They don't quite have that time. It's like, no, we got to win. We got to win right now, Trey. So Brock Purdy's able to do it, but I look at Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and I talked about this about 7 days ago now on Locked On 49ers, and I'm like, that would be a guy from the 49ers I look into. Because you got to have a 4th quarterback right now, right? Because you only have 2 quarterbacks that can throw. So during OTAs, you got Trey Lance, you got Sam Darnold. God forbid any of those guys go down. That's it. That's all you got. So if you only got those 2, then what do? Well, we definitely have to draft a 3rd guy. And then once Brock Purdy comes back, okay, we got 4 arms, and we'll see how it all shakes out. But for me, give me a guy that has high upside that might fall. Now, you have your range of where you want to take him. All right, you have your range of where you want to take Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Maybe 49ers are like, man, we worked him out, liked him, threw well, athletic, smart, leadership, experience, played 5 years at UCLA, high-end talent, all that stuff, right? And we don't expect him to be there in the 5th round, but if he's there in the 5th round, we're taking him, right? If he's there in the 5th round, then we take him. I would like that just because, again, you have that person with that high-end upside. And you look at the guys, you know what I'm saying? He's not the size of Trey Lance, but definitely has a lot of ability and much more experience. He is like the same height as Purdy, more athletic, much more dynamic of a runner, even though Purdy's no slouch. but more dynamic, but can make all the throws and has a bigger arm than Purdy. He threw at the combine. He had the hardest or fastest miles per hour as it pertains to the quarterbacks throwing. So, if some of y'all know or don't know, they test quarterbacks uh, miles per hour that they can throw a football at the combine. And he was far and away higher than everybody else. It was like 62 miles an hour. And that's a fastball. That's a fastball. He's not the biggest guy, not the biggest of guys, but that is a fastball. That is a fastball. So yeah, it's intriguing to see that they worked him out. I was excited to see that just because I know how talented he is, and I've kind of been pounding the table for, hey, I think this is a guy that, if there's a team that can get the most out of him, and just kind of get him to, I guess if you look at some of his cons, there were times where he can get a little reckless. But again, I look at the 49 situation, and it's the perfect team to where you don't have to be reckless. You don't have to be reckless. But his skill set, man, is good. It's good. So DTR, man, clearly I really like the kid. 49ers did a private workout with him. I'm interested to see how much they really like him.